Hello everybody and welcome to WTS 259. My name's Danny Murray.
I'm Graham Merrigan.
And this is a very hurried intro because we're in the middle of having a chat with our guest and we said, fuck it, this is content. So we'll just power through this bit and we'll go straight to the wonderful Tom O'Mahony.
Thanks a million, boys. Just it's only like we saw each other a week or two ago. This is great.
This is great. You were gracious enough to have us on your wonderful Bookshot podcast, which I'd highly recommend people go over onto the old Spotify and whatnot and to give it a look. And you've got a wonderful Patreon where people can get the video content, so they'll get to see your glorious mustache and mullet in its full swing.
It's something I felt I didn't think, but you know, because I'm not that big headed, but it became very apparent that it was something people should pay for. Is what
1,000,000%. I mean,
it was only when I heard you talking about your hair, the Buffon and whatnot, and I figured I get it now.
This is it, you know. Their hairspray costs money, so as far as I'm concerned, this is an investment. And I think if you start treating your hair that way, Tom, it's only a matter of time before you'll be a Billy Ray Cyrus double in a music video in no time.
I'll be honest, I'm more proud of the moustache than I am the mullet. I mean,
I love the moustache.
The moustache, I could take or leave the mullet any day of the week. It's great.
You moisturise the moustache?
No, I don't, and I should really. I had a beard company, a beard oil company, mess me. By all accounts, they have a moustache wax as well. I don't want to fucking go all curly like 1902. Hello, yeah, what is just Jerry in the air? I don't want that. But I mean, if there's shit that I've never considered fucking conditioning your facial hair before. Mary, you have more. You're tidied up. In fairness, last you looked like a hunger striker 2 weeks ago when I was talking to you. But in fairness, now at least there's some making or shape to you.
It's the best compliment Graham Merrigan's ever been given.
His Superman / AK or his Easter lily tattoo is actually glowing on his chest right now. It's every time somebody mentions anything Republican at all, it just glows. And Mary Lou's one, simultaneous one, starts glowing as well at the same time.
Absolutely. And Mary Lou has a great glow on her these days. A great glow. It looks in fantastic condition. Tom, you look like a hunter. Are you into the hunting? Into the gun shooting at all?
Once upon a time, yeah. But I am. And since moving back, ironically, since moving to the country, I've actually done less country sports. But that will all change later in the year.
Country sports?
No, that's what they refer to. Do you know, like somebody was only talking the other day because there's laws coming in and stuff like that about what would be deemed country sports, you know, from shooting and gaming and stuff like that, and fishing and things. And there was laws coming in to restrict, and they were complaining about it. And I said, that really doesn't affect that many people. And it would seem almost 400,000 people on a weekly basis are involved in what would be deemed country sports. Whether it's from trials running with horses and stuff, you know, things like that, and with hunting and fishing and everything. I didn't read 400, like almost, we'll say, you know, a 12th of the population.
It's more than I would have thought. Like,
yeah, like it's gun shooting and
hunting, fishing, horsing, the whole
horsing, right, mostly, and then hunting with dogs and stuff like that, and everything that would require a good old field out in the middle of nowhere, really, Mero.
All the way down to the lads who go lamping.
Yeah, well, I mean, lamping has kind of gone out. Lamping is a bit retro now. It's actually kind of...
It is.
What's lamping, lads?
Come on.
Come on, Mero.
Is that the fox thing?
Yeah. It's fox hunting at night, but using a giant lamp because you could...
Oh, sorry. Of course I know what lamping.
Well, I mean, you can do...
used to be mad into the all lamping.
He did, and you used it on girls in your teenage years.
Oh, here. Withdraw that, please.
You'd startled them with a bright light. I do withdraw that comment. # me too. Tom, right, so the gunning and the shooting and the hunting and so is it your time in the pale soften you up, or is it just you don't have time as a dad anymore?
Yeah, a bit of that too, and just
hunting.
I think because, well, that maybe, and just trying to get the show back on the road the last couple of months, preparing to get life back to normal for a performer, has taken way more fucking work and dead ends than fucking when things were up and rolling. You know what I mean?
Hang on. Before we get too far down our rabbit holes and whatnot here and we lose a couple of people, because that sometimes can happen apparently. Have you got any gigs coming up?
Yes.
Plug them now.
My new show, I'll be gigging in comedy clubs and stuff, that's fine, but my new show that I've written, it's a brand new stand-up hour called Clattered. And it has to be said like that. Anybody who arrives at the door going, "Hi, I've got a ticket to see Clattered," you'll be turned away immediately.
How do you say it, Tom?
Clattered.
Clattered.
There you go. Clattered. There you go. Anybody can say it. We have 2 boys from South County Dublin saying it here now, not a fucking positive. Clattered. It's a brand new out, and it's my finest work, guys. It's to be fair, it is. The shackles are completely off, and it takes 10 years really for the shackles to really come off people. And I don't care what anybody says, if they're an overnight success, if they've done well for themselves in the first 5 years. I can tell you here and now, you really don't hit your straps until you're 10 years in. You really don't, and that's the reality. And this would be like my 14th year in, and this is going to be a fun hour. So it's coming. It's debuting in Belfast. But it's going to be May 5th. It's going to be in the Wild Duck Comedy Club in Temple Bar in Dublin.
Danny O'Brien's
Comedy Club.
Danny O'Brien's place, yeah.
Where is it?
It's right beside the Gaiety. There's a street beside it. No. Is it the Olympia or the Gaiety I'm thinking of? Down by the bank, opposite the AIB Bank on.
That's the Olympia. The Tree Olympia, as it's now referred to.
Oh yeah, the Tree Olympia. Do you hate that when
we do? Yeah,
overnight they go, now, I mean, I'm not saying, okay, I could get really fucked up here and lose you a load of listeners, but I'm not going to.
But Tom,
sure.
Right? Me and Danny were talking yesterday about Tato Park. I thought Tato Park was first and foremost Tato, and that the amusement park or the roller coasters were just a background thought.
Yeah.
But they're changing the name. It's gone up for sponsorship rights next January.
But do Tato own it?
No. It's just a naming thing. I didn't know this.
I thought Tato. That's how naive I was too.
That's me as well.
Because I thought it was genius out of a crisp company to go. Now that you mention it, actually, that makes no fucking sense at all. That a crisp. I'm a fucking dunderhead. That a crisp company would invest millions in a fucking.
They haven't invented a new flavour in fucking donkey's years, but they're out there building wooden roller coasters.
Okay, guys. I have an idea, guys. Okay, how much is it going to cost before I say it? 50 million. Okay, all right, shoot Steve, because he's out of his fucking mind.
Lads, remember we brought out them chocolate bars that had bits of Tato in it? They mixed reaction, but we've cracked this. We know this one's going to go down the tree. Do you know what we need in the arse end of nowhere? A shit Alton Towers. Yeah. Oh, that makes perfect. I do hate it that they don't give you any time to think about it here. I know Bill Burr he joked about and I know he kind of had a lot of heat from the trans community about Caitlyn Jenner, but he was like, just give me a while. I grew up all my life knowing Bruce, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to go, oh, hey, how's it going, Caitlyn? It's same with changing things from the Tree fucking Olympia. Just fucking, if it grows on us, grows on us. But it would, the fact that it's a corporation, like a corporate company like Tree or Aviva, absolutely sickens my piss. Aviva, they're a fucking it's not even a sports thing. It's they insure your cat. You know what I mean? What the fuck,
sickens your piss.
Is there a delay over at Mero? Does that not 2 minutes ago I said that, no?
There's always a delay with him.
Is there a delay with
me? You could not fucking write to Mero. You're out of this fucking world. You need a fucking visa to get into your world. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, do you know what the weird part of all those fucking sponsorship things is, right? I don't like them and I'm not a fan of them, but the only one that has stuck with me, and even now it's not called it anymore, but I'll still say the O2 for some reason.
Yeah, it does it.
The Point Depot, but I'll just, for some reason, the O2 just always comes out of me.
I've always said the Point still.
Yeah, but you'd be old school. You'd be, even if you wanted to call it the fucking Three Arena, you'd still turn around and go, the Point. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know, Mary, you'd just be an old stickly bastard that way.
Absolutely.
I do get it, though.
Down to your Christy Moore, because you're like Christy at the Point, Christy at the Point, Christy at the Point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was answering your question before we even started, and I know I ran off of myself as to why country sports and I sold a gun and all the rest. No, I have not been out shooting, but there will be shooting done. There will be shooting done. Plus, apparently, there's been a spate of robberies around nearby here, which is something that never happens in this neck of the woods.
Right.
So there's been an unofficial chat amongst a lot of people around here, and people will be made known that gun owners are everywhere. So there will
Do
be
you have a WhatsApp group?
I'm not in it. I'm not in it, but I think you only need to tell one or two of the women around here, and everybody will have it.
Yeah,
so you don't need fucking WhatsApp for that, Mero. That's what real guerrilla warfare is. You don't be fucking putting it online so the fucking anybody can pick it up. Guerrilla warfare is done across the fucking ditches. This is where the original uprising started.
I don't care what anyone says. Once it's online, Zuckerberg and Bezos read it.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, they do.
Bezos knows 100% what I've been buying on Amazon. And he's sitting there and he's laughing at me.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hoover bags I'm buying on Amazon, but he's laughing at me.
Oh, I shamefully bought fucking... Well, the only place you could get him over the winter was I bought barbecue charcoals. But I'm so old. I was like, how could you buy coal? And you can buy it arrived. It arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much any fucking
via
thing.
a drone?
Yeah.
That's
But
frightening.
yeah, I haven't been shooting, Merrill. I have not been shooting. But
What
I
will
will
you be shooting now?
when I do get back shooting again. Well, the season is over for what I'd be after, which is dinner for the year, really, in deer. So, but my mother's hens are being terrorized and massacred at the moment by foxes. So either an eviction notice has to happen with these foxes, or staunch levels will have to be fucking produced. They'll have to talk to the fiery end of a boomstick.
Would you eat fox, Tom?
No, I wouldn't eat a fox, Graham. I wouldn't eat a fox. I'd fucking wear him. I'd wear him. See,
You sound like you were so sick and tired of that question.
You were the first person in the world to ever ask me a fox. But you know what? Sadly, I knew it was coming from you. I knew it was like even the most cosmopolitan person, like literally living in a New York apartment right now would be going, did he just fucking ask that man if he'd eat a fox? You fucking, how high is Merrill? How high is Merrill? And you don't even smoke fucking the devil's cabbage. Sure you don't.
No.
But you really should be an advocate for it, because you sound like somebody who's smoking some hefty fucking woodbine. I can tell you're like, do you eat foxes? Who eats foxes? Like, that is the most stoner question I've ever been asked in my life. God bless you.
Would you eat any rodent?
I suppose if I was pushed to technically rabbit is rodent.
That's true.
If you drew the line actually all the way to deer are rodent too.
Really?
Yeah.
Pigeon isn't squab. Isn't that technically rodent with wings?
Is that? I don't know. I mean, well, they definitely fall under the guise of pest anyway.
Definitely pest. Yeah, I've had squab. I've had pigeon.
Really?
Yeah, it was grand.
I had wood pigeon. Yeah, I had wood pigeon as well. Just in a kind of a. Yeah. It was a French restaurant, but it was kind of done in kind of what those French sauces tend to be made of, cream and everything else, and you could literally fuck in gravel and it all tastes lovely. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be grand.
That kind of stuff now, like pigeon now is considered like posh if you're going to eat it. Like,
sure, everything was was boxed out of it years ago, because like the reason why Mero is asking questions that only a fucking 2-year-old would ask is it's not his fault. It's what big farming corporate has done to Mero. See, I guarantee you, Mero, you ask any of your neighbours or your parents, they all would have had rabbit back in the day. Rabbit would have been readily available, but the problem was they'd go snaring. The likes of your grandfather would have gone snaring himself, like, because there would be fields very close to where you are, like. So, but there's no good. You can make no money off people catching their own food. You know, and this isn't going down to conspiracy. This is a thing. So, like corporate agri, like the big time beef and big time pork they would perpetuate the rumor and things like, oh, you're going to catch a disease if you eat something that's from the wild. Well, where the fuck do you think cows roam? Do you know what I mean? They don't fucking go off to the fucking Bahamas and stay in a fucking holiday resort through their growing period. They're pretty much in the wild, same as all the sheep you eat and anything else you eat. But if you're catching it yourself, it would always be deemed, oh God. So that's why rabbit went out of trend. And the myxomatosis thing took off, and it really wasn't as bad, and it burnt itself out in a couple of years. And you won't find it really in this country, you know what I mean? That's the same with deer too. They perpetuate the notion, oh, you're all going to catch Lyme disease. Not fucking really. Not fucking really. Like, you'll be all right. I've eaten a lot of it, and if I've got Lyme disease, it produces great mustaches. That's all I know.
I remember seeing a documentary before of a fella that was living off grid, and he was kind of living next. It was in the like a forestry that was next to a motorway, and he was just living off roadkill.
Yeah, I know. Like I had a mate now, and I think he went heavy on the fucking rough grub like that. I think it was more so in defiance of he was from Cork City, like, but he was, you know what I mean. He went down that. I think it was more just in defiance of the system that is everything that we all eat.
I'm not fucking paying for little boy. Fuck this, like.
Oh, fuck that! I remember he was on the way to a wedding that we're all going to. Right, the same guy's a fucking savage, and I think him and the wife were broke up now because she just couldn't take much more of it. Like, but they were driving to, and there's weird rules surrounding roadkill actually, Mero, in Ireland.
Really?
Like, if you hit it, you cannot technically go out and pick it up and take it home with you. But the next fella on after you technically can. The idea being, I don't know, I'm guessing they adopted it from the States or something. The idea being is that you wouldn't purposely try and kill something with the front of your vehicle for eating purposes. So
actually, roadkill rules.
Yeah, there are, in the idea that you wouldn't go fucking aiming for the thing to just go, listen, I've got a bull bar on the front of this 4x4. I'm going to blow that fucking yoke up the road. It'll be half cooked. It'll be halfway home. I'll hit it that fucking hard. I'll hit it hard enough and drive it into the fucking freezer from here. You know, so I hit him hard enough to drive the skin off the fucker. He'll be fucking butchered by the time he gets home. So, sorry, lads. I've completely taken over your fucking podcast.
I mean, to be honest, that's all right, man. That's the idea. Like, I just know we've definitely lost vegans here. They're gone. And vegetarians
were lost a long time ago.
And vegetarians are circling the drain. But sure, look, here we are.
No, listen, I've gotten into it with both. And I've kind of said, well, look, here's your thing. And like, are you going to go after everybody? Go after big corporate fucking farming if that's your issue. Like, don't come after somebody who actually gleans maybe one or two animals peacefully throughout the year and honorably eats every part of that fucking animal. Like, don't what are you talking about? Like, fuck off.
A bit of sustainable eating. Sustainable's a buzzword these days, isn't it? That's what they're all.
I suppose, yeah. I should use that. I should use that word. That's a good word rather than fuck yourself. Yeah, I should definitely use that.
You ever watch the Bearded Butchers, Tom?
On YouTube, I've seen them. They're American. Yeah, very interesting fellas. Yeah. You see, the old man was a butcher for years too, so he loves that shit when I show him it on YouTube. Like, and of course, he's watching it going, I'd fucking fired a lot of them. You know, he's got, first off, they're walking around with fucking beards hanging in over fucking meat. What the fuck are they doing? You know, which you can't really have. Like, but
get beard hats on.
Yeah, but he's complained about any of the Americans how slow they are.
Right,
how fucking slow they are. But again, I was like, they're doing it for their YouTube channel. You're not for speed purposes. You know, to sell it to a customer. They're doing it for the. But yeah, I do have an innate kind of interest in not knives or anything, but just how you go about sorting out your own grub.
Yeah, you know when you're sharpening a butcher's knife, is there any fear of the steel shavings falling onto the meat?
Next to nothing. They'd be so microscopic. Yeah, they'd be so microscopic that it wouldn't even be it wouldn't be a case. Like, if you're going, but you'll see fellas when they're sharpening, they turn away with the steel. It's a rod like that has tiny little ridges in it. You'll see them kind of turn away and. I mean, if there are any microscopic steel filings going into the meat, then it would be highly unlikely that they would even stand over to do it.
Yeah.
Meadows just worried that he's going to eat a steak one day and it's going to be like that gold shiker stuff. Like, cuts the back of your throat.
Do you remember that fucking rumour that people were going to... There was one about...
It's into your bloodstream quicker.
Oh, fuck the shit we came out with in the 80s and 90s. Like, there was another one... it was somebody, Rothman cigarettes, that apparently they used to put fiberglass through the filter or something, to that little flecks of glass would go into your lungs and nick it, and that so nicotine could get into you, because, you know, fags really aren't bad enough, like, you know what I mean, that they won't get in, it won't possibly get into your bloodstream fast enough, like.
Yeah, all they needed was that little bit more sinister edge about them, like, you know what I mean?
Roman's still going.
I don't know. I haven't
don't
bought a
know.
packet of fags in a long time.
Yeah,
Like, so.
the last I fucking saw Rotmans was when they sponsored a Formula One car.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Well, you don't see any of the branding anymore, so I don't know what
Yeah.
smokes.
But cigarettes aren't. They can't do any sort of marketing anymore, can't they? Not. God forbid a child fucking can't tell right from wrong and they pick up a packet like.
Are fags gone from Formula One altogether? Like,
Oh, gee, for years since like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
I've watched F1, but I just haven't copped that.
Yeah, I think it was about 2003, maybe. It's in my head.
Rotmans and Benson and Hedges, they used to be covered.
Benson and Hedges.
Marlboro had gotten Ferrari as well. Yeah.
And they used to be on the McLarens, and then West cigarettes were in there. They were all. It was just a fucking place for whiskey and cigarettes. That's all Formula One was like. It was
Didn't
just,
know West was cigarettes, Jesus.
yeah, but yeah, because I know Schumacher was still driving in a Ferrari, and there was Marlboro sponsorship. And then at some point in his tenure, they stopped. They used to do this thing where you could do the logo, but you couldn't have the actual word on the car. So they all got very clever. So the Jordans, which were Benson and Hedges, they had like bitten and hisses or or buzzing hornets, and the car looked like a hornet.
Oh yeah,
remember all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sure, they did. There was a year, or there was a while too where it wasn't allowed to be called a Heineken Cup in France. It was just called the H Cup.
The H Cup. Yeah.
Who is wondering what H is for? Like, who's got? I can't wrap my head around this, lads. I can't. I'm just not getting it. Just not getting it.
Yeah.
Fucks, But I don't know how influenced I would be to smoke fags by watching the Formula One. Maybe it would. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I've watched Formula One since I was a kid, and I just at no point at all while I was watching lads drive around in circles did they ever go, do you know what make this better? 20 John Player Blue. At no point at all did I.
Do you know what would make you want to smoke fags though? Is if like they zoomed in, as somebody's just coming over the track and like Shumi has the visor up and a big fag sticking out of his mouth, like you go, oh, now I want a fag. Now I want to smoke because that man's the coolest driver of all time. Yeah. I want to smoke now. Yeah.
You see, like it's fucking mad though. Because you ever watch like videos from like the 70s and shit of Formula One where it was just mayhem everywhere. There's lads standing in the middle of the pit lane while there's
petrol everywhere and fags
petrol everywhere, and and you can see like there's fucking petrol, and you're like, this is no wonder so many of them fucking died back then. Like.
But dying was okay back then, Dan. I think we're making an awful big deal about dying these days, like as if we're all never going to die. People were all grand with dying. Do you know, like, I was only talking with somebody on another podcast, on the Monster Fuzz podcast, and they're going, how, your grandfather, he lived till 100 years of age, he must have been fucking minding himself. Minding himself, like. The man just didn't know to be fucking sore or sick or whatever. And he called it when he was dying. He was like, that's me done now. Got the check, look. Like, but they were mountain people. Like they didn't conceive nor give a fuck about dying. Do you know what I mean? So it was like when it arrives, it arrives. Sure, who gives a fuck? Like
your granddad was a funny man, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hardcore. He did his entire existence. He did everything on his terms. I just
what did he work at?
He was a mechanical engineer, and electric, but he got out of it after again a big fucking explosion. He had a guy that was working with him. I think he'd said it was like when you back in the day when you wouldn't have a replacement petrol tank for a car, you'd have to weld it, and it was supposed to be well flushed of all fucking liquids, of flammable liquids. There was a little bit left in it, and he put the gas welding to her, and she fucking blew the living shit. He was one of the first guys in the country that had skin grafts.
Jesus.
Yeah. But at that, he was like, oh, fuck all this. Do you know what? It was more, I think dealing with the public was his thing too. It was like, because at the beginning it was great because nobody had, lights and, he was literally installing a light bulb for people. They would call him to go, can you come down and make the wizard glow again? It's like, Jesus. So for a few years, he was literally Gandalf. And then, but then as society would be society, they get cocky. It's like Ireland in the 90s was grand. None of us had a pot to piss in, so none of us had an attitude. Then all of a sudden we got a few quid and went skiing, and now we're all cunts. You know what I mean? It's the same story. Few people got a radio, and now all of a sudden they think they're Tesla. And they're going, can you come down here and fix my radio? Get some. The car blowing up was nearly a blessing in disguise. So he was like, fuck all this. So he went and bought a farm. So,
lovely.
Yeah.
And he was 100 when he passed.
100, yeah.
And when did he stop working? 95?
No, he wound up the farm like at about 90. He sold the farm. He kind of put it as he just sold it. Even it was a business, very efficient. But like it wasn't a passed down kind of. You see farms out the country and lads are kind of going, I can't make a pound out of it. But he actually used a very business-like attitude towards his farm. Every hedge was square. Everything looked fucking prim and proper because it had to turn a profit every year, or it was pointless to him. Do you know that kind of way? He had a family love affair with this particular farm. Even though they were farmers originally, but his one was a business. And when it came to a point where it's like, this is going to stop making profit soon, because cattle was going down and stuff like that. So he went, all right, fuck this, and just binned it. And so he retired about 90. Yeah,
lovely.
Well, no one went to get out is fucking half the battle with these things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too many people who just cling on, and like that's the emotional attachment or whatever. But even though you're saying about him, like he's basically Gandalf or whatever, but that's the fucking time gone by where people would actually call someone to come out and repair it, rather than saying it's only 60 quid. Like I'll just go and buy a new one. That's all everyone does now. We just buy new ones. Nobody
throw away technology, man. It's
mad, isn't it?
It's throwaway society of everything. Do you remember, sure? I mean, I was actually only talking this morning about I wanted to watch Dances with Wolves again. I haven't seen it in like...
Oh, yes.
Because I started watching Yellowstone with herself and she was like, geez, I had not appreciated how much we needed one. We were going, Kevin Costner's just a cool motherfucker.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would talk about Dances with Wolves and I had a Dances with Wolves poster because I just thought, again, like every child, I thought wolves were cool. But I got it from our TV repair guy who also had a video shop, who was also our school bus driver. That's when people work 3 jobs. Like.
Unbelievable.
And you talk about pigeons. He used to bring his carrier pigeons, his homing pigeons from the town, which is about 15 miles away, the town he was from, and bring them like way past my house, like into the Glen of Arlo, like out by the mountains, let him off. But he used to give me the odd poster when I'd ask for it. Have you got a movie to it? I got the Terminator one. But like he was the TV repair guy. And you go, oh yeah, people didn't just catch the telly and fuck it in the dump. You actually went and got that shit fixed. Like,
yeah. I can remember the little tube thing. I remember when TVs had a back to them, they weren't just fat. The tube thing in the back and having to get that fucking fit. And it was a nightmare because the fella would come out and he'd look at me, don't have that part. It's going to take me a couple of days to get that in. You had no telly for a few days.
Yeah.
The fuck is this? No.
Yeah.
And nowadays, your telly breaks. Fuck it. I'll go down to Power City, 200 quid, I'll have a new 50-inch flat screen. Fuck it.
Well, the flat screens, they always say that they're uneconomical to repair, so you might as well just get a new one.
But just become that with everything. Like, I mean, even the other day, I was buying I was getting the NCT and had to put, there was an indicator bulb gone on the wing mirror. Do you think you can put a bulb in? No, you fucking can't.
A whole new mirror.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. But then I embodied my old grandfather and went, no. No. I can't have this. At least if I break it, I break it. I got to buy a fucking new one anyway. And I got it open, got in, and it was a little LED bulb that cost nothing because your man wouldn't take money off me. He goes, I don't even know what to fucking charge you for that. Just take the fucking thing with you. Got it in and got it all slowly back together. Put it up. A little bit of glue had to be used, lads, but it's an LED bulb. It won't go, and that car will be long gone before I fucking worry about that ever again. She passed the NCT. But again, it was like, oh, catch that wing mirror and fuck it in the dump, like, and go get a whole new wing mirror for the sake of a light. And you're like, for the love of Jesus, there has to be something here I can do, like,
Fuck that. Did you pass the NCT, Tom?
I did.
What's your take on the NCT in general?
It's gotten loosey goosey, I'll tell you that, because once upon a time,
loosey goosey.
Yeah, fucking. Once upon a time, there was like 50 fucking markers on it. Like now, it's like the COVID scenario with the fucking getting kids or getting teachers to grade them themselves without the exam. It's the same thing, kind of going, Era, it looks all right from my house. Drive it on. Do you know? It's like as it fucking by pure fluke, a brake light went driving in there. And I went, because I just gave it one last look around. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I went, I'm saying that. And your man can cop it at all.
Love it.
One is good enough, is in his opinion. Or if they even tested it, I don't know. But it kind of depends on the centres too, lads. Yeah. Because I remember I had a Polo briefly. It was ourselves car, and I wanted to NCT it because there was only, do you know when there's only a while left in a car before it starts, the ghosts come to take it. And this car it was fucking worse than I thought it was, but I took it to this NCT in Mullingar. We were living kind of over that, not in Mullingar. It was the nearest one to where we were at the time. We were out beyond Lucan. And well, fuck me. It was in and out, and I swear on my life, in 2 minutes. It can't be more than 2 minutes. And I chanced it. I left 20 quid in the ashtray. It was gone. And that car, I sold it to a mechanic that was living next door to us. And I said, listen, it's after passing the NCT, but I'm going to be straight and honest. I don't know, should it have? And I think I was only looking for 500 or 600 quid for the thing. And he took it for a spin. He went, I'm going to be spending a week on that. That's so bad. But he says, I'm glad to have gotten it because it's an auto and stuff like that. And I want it and I will give you the money you're asking for. But he says, Tom, I'm telling you, somebody should be arrested for passing that. I says, well, 20 quid got it over the fucking line. He went, I wouldn't take $2,000 to put that over the line. It's that much of a bucket of shit. Like, the bollocks were hanging out of this car dragging up the road. Like, it should not have passed. But so yeah, I mean, the NCT, it's I don't fear it at all, and people get awful stressed about the fucking notion of the thing. Like,
don't get stressed about it, but I think it's a bit of a racket.
Oh, it's absolute fucking racket. Yeah. It's an absolute racket. Same as fucking raising the tax on cars over fucking 10 or 11 years, like jacking the tax through the fucking roof. Like, you can, like, so you can't have certain cars because they just, and they'll go, oh, it's for the environment. You're like, you go fuck yourself. A 1.2 can be like, all the new Audis now are 3.5 litre plus, but they're, because they're brand new Audis. But if you could have a 1.2 Fiesta from, say, 2005, it's going to cost you like 700 quid to tax it for the year. Like, it's just to keep the fucking shops. Because again, just like the hunting, what use is Mero selling the car to you, selling it to me, and the three of us keeping all our money between each other? Like,
yeah,
it's no use to anybody but us three. So, and old greedy fucking, if there's an Uncle Sam, what do we call the government in Ireland? What can we call him if it's in what we need to give the government a fucking, like, Uncle Sam to me is like a slimy old uncle who'd fucking put his hand into your arse pocket and rob your fucking communion money. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we need for a name for Ireland. Before the end of the show, we should develop a name.
Uncle Christie.
No, because Christie's good. Christie's good.
Yeah,
Christie put a $5 into your top pocket and say, "No, don't spend it all in the one shop." That's what Uncle Christie would do.
Yeah. Christie would definitely slow you a fag when you were 8.
Oh, for sure he would. He would.
Just go on outside that now, say nothing. You know what I mean?
Leo.
There we go.
Uncle Leo. Do you know what?
Uncle Leo or Cousin Leo?
Cousin Leo is better.
Cousin Leo's a bollocks.
Cousin Leo seems like the type of fucker who'd rat you out for acting like.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There we go. Oh, so that's the embodiment of every government going forward, even if Leo fucking retires tomorrow.
I couldn't give a shit what he gets up to. I like this Cousin Leo bit. Cousin Leo to me, he's that. When you were kids, Cousin Leo be the one that he'd fucking rob biscuits, and when somebody said, "Where are all the biscuits gone?" he'd just point at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, I mean, I was reading, it was just before Christmas, that, and a small article when, of course, they were fucking littered in the paper with nothing but COVID numbers. All our hair is going to go on fire if we go outside. You're like, for the love of fuck. And then just in this little article, it was like, the government are bringing in plans to actually tax your parents if they'll give you a loan without putting interest on it.
I saw that, and they scrapped that.
Really?
In fact, they did scrap it, but I saw that and I was like, fuck yeah. There's kite flying, and then there's just pure shithousery.
That is shithousery of the highest order. Like.
That is. I never heard of that.
Who's
proposing that?
The fucking government were.
It was Pascal.
Pascal the cunt.
Yeah.
That was fair cheeky. Like, can you, like, before I'd fucking pay it, let them send whatever bail if they want before I'd fucking pay it. If you're out there, if somebody was after giving you a lend of a fuck, or giving you a few pound, go away and fuck.
How do you even tax that though?
Sure, if they saw it from moving from one account to another over a certain amount, maybe over $5,000, and being there for longer than a month, they go, why aren't you charging interest on your child?
You'll already pay interest on inheritance, sure.
Oh yeah, like, it's a fucking scandal anyway. Like
that is absolutely outrageous. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so much of it that's just fucking. But this is it. This is what happens when you live in a taxable economy. Like, was it Tony Groves on fucking Claire Bourne there the other week or whatever, and he was saying that it's this neoliberal capitalist society, and nobody seems to be willing to use that term, but everybody's talking about. Yeah, and I was just like, do you know what? Old Tony G is onto something there. Look, everybody just wants to line their own pockets. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? You want a few bob to look after yourself and look after people around you. But, like, this fucking bullshit of sort of saying, well, so long as I get a little bit more of my pocket lined than you do kind of thing, just an awful lot of shithousery going on.
But a couple of weeks ago, Pascal Donahue was saying that he never said he was going to get rid of the USC charge. And there's an actual tweet when he was campaigning saying that we will abolish the USC. But he said he never said it. You know, so people were saying, but Fine Gael used that as part of their campaign to get into government. That you were saying that the USC was a temporary tax, and you said you were going to abolish it. No, I never said that. There's tweets. As Danny said, there's always a tweet.
Yeah, it's I don't know, lads. I fucking hadn't envisaged we'd be going down a political route here tonight.
No,
like, you know what I mean?
Tom, in relation to your show, like, what was the process like right now? You're obviously very happy with it because you think it's years of work coming to fruition. So was it a hard process?
No, it actually wasn't. It was weird. It was hard at the beginning when I said I would need to write a new show. But what I've discovered over the years is that you can put yourself to the pin of your collar and say, look, tomorrow I have a 9:00 deadline. It must be fucking finished. It's fair enough. But there'll be almost no organics to it. It'll be funny. But what I've discovered is with me, I can hear lads talking about it. I'm going writing now this morning. I'm like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. And it does work for some lads. It does. And they love that prescribed stuff. Whereas I think like training is the best, thing you can do. Like, you can't sit in a fucking classroom fucking thinking about these, about how to play a game. Like, you need to get out and fucking horse into it. Like, so I, with the Ramble Pod and my bookshot, I actually trialed a lot of stuff. So it's me just talking ad nauseam for half an hour purely for the Patreons. And you get honest feedback. And I actually did a live stand-up show to them with half an hour of brand new fucking material and took their feedback on it.
Class.
And that was, but what I'll do is I'll plant a seed of a thing, Miro. And long drives, and I find the hunting used to be great for that, because you get 9 times out of 10 you're going to get not. You're just going for a fucking nice walk in the forest, silence, and just let that fucking yoke mull over in your head. And I know the route to funny now. Do you know what I mean? I know the route to funny, and because you've done it that many fucking times, like. So you do have to be some sort. You have to catalog each stage of the scenario or of the show. But over the last few months now of on and off gigs, and it was coming good probably around November. And then I started adding tops and tails to it. The last few gigs over the last few weeks now, just with, I wouldn't give them the whole, as I say, I wouldn't give them the whole farm, but you're dotting in some of the new stuff and you're going, oh, fuck, that's hitting way hotter than the other stuff. Like, so I'm very, very excited to have the culmination of all of it come together. So, but I won't write it. I will not write it word for word, because I back my diet. Yeah, I back my chat. Like, you know what I mean? Because fuck me, can I talk? I mean, have you not noticed? Like,
exactly. So, but how much of your show though is improv? Like, how much when you get onto the stage that night? Like, you could write a 40-minute show, but the show was an hour long. Would that?
Yeah. I mean, what I will write it. I mean, you better, as the fella says, you better to be having it than fucking looking for it. Like, so I will have. There'll be an hour there if I need it. There'll be an hour and 20 if I need it. But you do invariably find that there's an awful lot of fun to be had with dicking about with the audience too. Like, because you want to make the show for them. Like, that's a big realization that comes to most comedians later on, and that this is nothing to do with you. You're purely a conduit of funny to the people who just they're on a night out. You are the court jester, and once you stop thinking this show is actually about you and take the dickhead out of it, then people really they bite through, they see through the bullshit fairly. Now, people will be absolutely masked by the fact that if you have a great media company behind you going, this person is for you and the kind of thoughts you think, and you have a great marketing team and stuff like that. But really, when it comes down to it, you see the pure joy in people's faces, like when they go, oh, this fella's fucking having the crack with us. He's fucking loving this. And I am. There's not. I would not do it if I didn't absolutely fucking have the crack and enjoy it with people. Like,
there's a huge appetite now since the restrictions were lifted for comedy. I do see an awful lot of the even the comedy clubs sold out and stuff. Look at Joanne McNally. She's selling 36 dates in Vicar Street.
Plus
Yeah,
how many fucking around the country just
Around the
in
country, like
town.
36.
phenomenal. And I mean, as well, it's the, I suppose it's the Venn diagram of a bunch of things for the likes of Joanne that are coming a while, but Joanne positioned herself very smartly, like in the right ways to get herself available for people to know more about, to build an audience. Very and brilliant, very, very good at it, like, and knows her act, knows what people are looking for. Like, she knows herself there'll be 4 fellas in the whole of Vicar Street, like, but sure, she don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, and they're just there because whatever, do you know, for whatever reason, but she knows who her audience are, and she plays to the gallery.
She's brilliant. And even her podcast with Vogue, which is like, in fairness, like, it's absolutely fucking brilliant. And I can't remember where I heard her talking about it, and she described, like, somebody described it to her as, you know, like, during lockdown, that podcast for women became what women would do when they just went out and drank wine together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were that podcast became kind of the vessel for how women felt. Oh, we're still getting to do this, but we're just doing it in a way that it's Joanne and Vogue. Like, it's brilliant. It's like,
it was
every bit of success to her. Like,
I had Joanne on Buckshot years ago, and she said it. She goes, she understood the market. She understood the market inside out. She was like, I know that there's not enough women doing it.
Yeah,
for the market, not for the moral reasons of it. Why would it, like, people? I'm sure say she's fair sick of being asked that question, like, going, you know, more women. Joanne wouldn't want more women. She doesn't want anybody in comedy, like any comedian doesn't. We're selfish lone wolf motherfuckers. Like, I want all the gigs. I want every one of the gigs. I want them all. So I want to be able to, you know, fucking gig in 3 places at the one time. I want all the gigs, and fair play to anybody else who's doing gigs, but I don't give a fuck. You know, and nobody does. You know, your hats off, fair play. But reality is that you want to be doing all of them, because you're not in a band. You're not in a fucking team. You're absolutely on your own. And you take all the fall for it, and you take all the praise for it. Yeah. So
with places back open, Tom, and I know earlier on we kind of touched on some of the places you're playing. You're kicking off in Belfast and everything. So what does the road look like then now? Because, like, pre-pandemic, you probably would have been gigging 5 nights a week easy.
Yeah, well, I suppose, building up towards things, but through one guise or another, whether it was hosting something or doing stand-up, which invariably I'll be in a comedy club twice a week minimum. Yeah, pre-pandemic, but minimum. But in reality, on average, probably 3 to 4, and then you'd probably be hosting some tasty fucking thing at a weekend or whatever. And that was pre-pandemic. So the road. It's fucking weird. Well, comedy is a weird fucking road anyway. Nobody will tell you not. Nobody will give you any roadmap as to how to do it. Nobody will ever give you any advice. And if they do, be fucking careful. If young comedians are getting advice off people, just be wide. Chances are
you're not selling it here, Tom.
No, but he's right that the only good advice I ever got, from, like, in terms of somebody actually bestowing a voice, not just kind of like myself and yourself would have had chats like years ago and whatever, just talking about, like, oh, that place is decent to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
Such as that kind of stuff's grand. But in terms of actual, Jerry McBride gave me the best bit of advice. He's like, if you do a gig and somebody offers you a gig off the back of that, dance with the girl who brought you. i.e., do the material that has won them over. Don't think, oh, he's after offering me fucking 10 minutes somewhere. I've been doing 7-minute open mics. In that 10-minute one, I'm going to try a load of new shit.
Yeah.
Dance with the girl who brought you. And it was fucking great. I was only doing gigs like 3 months or something. And like that bit of advice made sense straight away. I was like, gotcha, loud and clear.
I'm probably being facetious. There is definitely good people that will give you advice. Like, but there is no set roadmap. There really isn't.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Not in Ireland anyway, because we don't have the infrastructure. Like, you know, every half decent sized town in the UK has a comedy club. You know, because they have a thing for going to the theatre. They just do. Yeah. You know, and a performance is a thing that's 500 years old in the UK, whereas here people just don't grasp it. So it's like the whole county of Tipperary has one theatre. I think I was telling you before, like in Thurles. That's about it.
Was there ever a point in your career where you wanted to give England a go?
Yeah, I thought about it, and then I was over and back there, and I'm like, I suppose if I had never done anything else, I might be naive enough to go, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Even though I wouldn't have enjoyed it. You know, I would have suffered through it, like, but because, like, you know, when you're fucking, I was in my late 20s when I got into stand-up, but I had a lot of work done and things done where I was like, oh, no, I couldn't be dealing with fucking England on the daily. I couldn't. Do you know? And I understand my limitations, Mero. Like I'm a better person in living in the countryside. I'm a calmer person. You know what I mean? I keep things very simple. And if I had to live in London, I would be either in prison or just a furious psychopath just storming around the seats just because of the continuous fucking, I don't know, chaos and stimulation of stupidity.
Have you done Edinburgh, Tom?
I've done Edinburgh like 6 times. Yeah,
and that's it. That's fuck that, because it's a mountain of work. Like, Edinburgh's not this fucking cushy glory hole that people fucking glory hole's not the right word. It's fucking yeah.
What part of Edinburgh were you in?
It's not this glorious fucking run of comedy. Like, it's a fucking slog, is what Edinburgh is for a comedian. Like,
yeah, it's kind of unnatural in a lot of ways. Like, you're doing the guts of fucking 30 days. You're doing 20, maybe fucking 3 or 24. Some people even more if they were doing a preview over there. 26 days of the same show over and over again, and you're cap in hand to every fucker. Literally, if you're doing the free fringe, you have a bucket at the door and go pay what you feel it was worth. And
having to do your own flyers, you're having to fucking coax people.
Like, there's methods to it, but I think for me it just, like, I done it in different guises. Like, I did a full run a couple of times, and then I did like a 2-week stint, and then I did like a 10-day stint and a week stint, and I was like, oh, I don't need this. Oh, I definitely don't need this. No, I don't. Like, I don't, because like I don't need the love of absolute fucking strangers who won't know my name within 30 seconds of them walking out the door. I don't. No, you're grand. Nor do I need the pat in the back from some generic fucking reviewer who's going to come in and go, yeah, who's never picked up a mic in their life and going, like, I'll never forget my first ever review. I was only doing comedy maybe 2 or 3 years, and it was the worst fucking gig ever. It was actually a preview show. We got there I was doing a half and half, like a half an hour of an hour with Sean Hegarty. He's a northern comedian, and it was the fuck. Did I ever tell you about that where you once started crying? No.
I don't think so, no.
This one fucking broke down. It was fucking hilarious the more I think about it. It was this fucking basement of a restaurant, because that's what they do. It's every cubbyhole they can find in Edinburgh becomes a theatre, like. And I went on stage or whatever, and sure, I had my material. I had my half an hour, and I had a bit of chat if it needed to be, but not really. And there was only about fucking, like, we had some good days, we had some great days, we packed it out maybe 60% of the time, but the other times there was days when it's just raining outside and it's a Tuesday in the middle of the day, like at 3 o'clock. Who the fuck are you going to expect? So you get maybe 10 people in, and they'd sit in different parts, and they'd be polite enough. And I'll never forget the first performance in Edinburgh, this mad looking yoke, like hair all stuck up on one side of her head. I didn't even see her come in. She was sitting like fucking 5 rows back, just starts wailing, crying. Like 5 minutes into my set, I'm like, Now, I had not the stage maturity to deal with this scenario because there's other people in the fucking room. And what's going on back there? She's like, I'm all right to be fucking drunk in the day. I went, oh, you absolutely do. But I'd sooner not be here right now. She's like, I said, you want to share with, rather than me going, she want to step outside, and thankfully my girlfriend, now wife, Natasha, this is another sign that this woman was wife material. She was like, look, and she grabbed this woman by the shoulder. She's like, come on now, we'll bring you outside. And all I could hear was her wailing all the way. I'm like, fuck, and she couldn't get her from beyond the door outside, right? She would not fuck off up the stairs and out onto the street where she wanted to bring her. So she's outside the door, so we can still hear her wailing as loud as if she was in the room. And I'm trying to go, so what's the deal with fucking airplane food? Whatever shit I was doing at the time. Because while it was getting laughs, your material for the first 5 years is pure shit. Like, it's shit. You're just banging together as many words that sound funny as you can. And this one's outside the door going, I see. Basically, it was the month anniversary of her father, who had been stabbed outside the door of this place. And I'm like,
fuck.
well, that's the most Scottish thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. You know, I said I got away with it. I said so, and she got her away. And it actually, other than that, like it actually went grand. People were very nice. It was like, hey.
I need to hear more of this Scottish accent.
It was a crying fucking Scottish woman who's, you know, mourning her father. That's where I peak. Anything outside of that, I turn into Shrek. It's but yeah, and somebody was in there. A reviewer, for some reason, was one of the fucking like 9 other people that were in the room. Some youngster who, by all accounts, writes for a gardening fucking magazine.
Oh, fuck me.
Is in there and just decided to review this preview show because we wanted a couple of goes of it because we had 3 days to preview. And it didn't really matter if anybody was there or not. It was at least rehearsals before the festival officially opened. This motherfucker reviewed it. And one of the lines, I remember they were complaining about me, mentioned nothing about that madness. Mentioned nothing. And then one of the lines was, O'Mahony doesn't even look like a comedian. I'm like, what does that even mean? I mean, what did I
definitely do?
Did I leave my head somewhere? Like, did I have my back to the fucking audience and look at, like, what does a comedian look like? You know what I mean? Like, it was, I was a bit more clean cut than this, Mero, but at the same time, I was a person with a microphone saying words. What the fuck more do you need to look like? You know,
you didn't have the big chunky glasses and the Harry Hill collar, you see. So
there you go.
Yeah,
and and it was kind of from there. It was kind of sullied ever from that. It was like, oh, I have no love for this. And some people fucking love it. It's their fucking Christmas, Hanukkah, and fucking whatever else rolled into one. They fucking love it. And more power to them. But like, nah, man, I come away, like I've had standing ovations there. And I literally am utterly like Bateman in fucking American Psycho. I'm utterly dead inside. I'm going, nice. Thank you. Let's move on. You know, and nothing do I get. Like, and it's weird. Do you know, if I did a comedy, which I've done comedy clubs in Edinburgh, and I've had great times, really enjoyed them. But for some reason, whatever it is about this Fringe, it seems so fucking unorganic, I think is the word. Yeah, it's very, like, right next door. I remember doing one time, and there was I was sharing a fucking, I suppose it was the top of a venue, the Pear Tree, which is a great venue. But across the fucking, like, the hall from me were these lads, the poshest English lads, who were all like, you know, they're all called things like Toby, you know. They were doing sketch comedy via the medium of ukuleles for an hour.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And these lads packed it in after a week. Not even a week. They got to about 5 days because I was getting great audiences. And like, it wouldn't be 2 minutes in. And a lot of my audience were kind of fucking rough bastards. I don't know why, but there were a lot of, I got on with these people. But within 5 minutes, I'd invariably get them all to chant, shut the fuck up, 3 times across the corridor to these lads. Because they wouldn't have 2 people in. And they're changing away on these chang, fucking all the 6 of the pies. They're all called, and annoyingly, 3 of them were actually called Tom. But it was a different Tom. It was a different kind of Tom. But so, yeah, I mean, it is really good for new comedians because you'll come away with fucking a year's worth of experience because you're dealing with so many different factors. Plus, it kind of breaks you inside a little bit because one day is whopper, the next day, fuck, whopper, fuck. So you ended up what I call cauliflower brain or cauliflower happiness, is that you just can't feel it anymore. Like, you know, that kind of way it's like the ears of a fighter or a rugby player. They're just so fucking fucked. You can't feel it anymore. So for me, it wore off after a while. It wore off. So yeah, it's I don't feel much love for it, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
you'd rather stay local.
Yeah. I mean, I have great times when I do go abroad to do it. But knowing that this is just it feels like a fun little fucking, not a folly because you're getting paid for it, but at the same time, it does feel like a little jolly, a bit of crack. Plus also, like, and there's no 2 ways about it. Like, you'll see people's mouths hanging open when you're throwing them absolute fire, going, why is this coming so fast at me, all this humor? But Irish audiences, 9 times out of 10, are on with you. They're on the train with you. It might take them 2 or 3 minutes to initially catch up to speed. But like I was in Galway the other night, and a lot of people were kind of drunk, and it was a competition. So they had a lot that had like 8 or 9 brand new comedians, new comedians doing their competition material. And during the deliberation, they bring on a headliner to do like 25, 30 minutes. And you could see people's brains were fuck, because it had 8 or 9 absolute newbies, you know, who were, and then I came on, you know, swinging for the fucking fences. But within 3 minutes, they're up with you. And then the remaining 27 minutes, we're all having a fucking jolly old time. And I found gigging sometimes in the UK, they might never catch that train. Mightn't at all. And fuck them, I'm not slowing down.
Will we get festivals back this year, Tom? The likes of the comedy carnivals and Kilkenny and all those kind of fucking things. Are they on the cards?
Yeah. Oh, they're all, I don't know. I've never done Kilkenny.
Have you not done Kilkenny?
No, never done Kilkenny. I've done every festival there is to do, and I've done it 3-4 spots at all of them. But Kilkenny and me the twain have not met. And you can take from that from whatever you want.
Yeah, okay then. Duly noted.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. I think they're quite selective. And I wouldn't fit in for some. I have gigged in Kilkenny loads, and I've performed and stuff there. But for whatever it is out the cat laughs, no, never. They've just looked me over every year, and at first I was really pissed off about it because I was like, I'm doing well at all these other festivals. But then again, after a while, they're like, it's probably not. It's no vindictive thing against me. They see me and just figure out one fit. I'm like, well, they know better, obviously, because it's their festival, so let them have it.
I know, like purely as you know, somebody who's gone to Cat Laughs a couple of times and thoroughly enjoyed myself and whatever. I do feel as though in recent years, it's lacked the same level of appeal as it once had. There was once upon a time, like for a comedy fan in Ireland, spot. It was, you know what I mean? And even if you were going to a show, if you just went to, there used to be a football match on the Sunday between the international comedians and the Irish comedians. Even that was just fucking gold worth going to. But yeah, I don't know. The last couple, I don't know if it went on at all during the pandemic. If it did, I didn't pay any attention to it, if any gigs at all happened. But like, yeah, I don't know. So, but it's good that stuff's kicking. Like if the Vodafone stuff is kicking off, that those gigs in the Ivy Gardens every year are fucking in the big tents and all that.
They're mega. They're mega. And Vodafone taking up the one over in Galway as well. Like it just makes a right out fucking. It's like we had the one. Now Vodafone didn't come on board this year because I don't think then it was too late before we kind of got the green light. Yeah. But they had the festival in Galway in October. I'm sure it was like 20 Christmases all coming together, like, because you're going, we didn't know it was going to happen, and literally a month out it was like, it's going to fucking happen, we're going to get to actually have a festival, like, come hell or high water, we're having it. It was on a more muted scale, like, but it was fucking glorious to see audiences back rolling around laughing, like, you know, that kind of way. But yeah, all systems go according to music festivals are happening, so the comedy side of that is happening too, because I've been booked in for 2 already, so it's like fucking gravy.
What have you been booked in for?
I can't say yet. I will tell you as soon as we stop recording. Like, but I just physically have been asked not to mention it on any forum, media, or whatever, which sounds like the wankiest thing ever. But it's not.
You've sold out now, Tom. You have. It's
not the person who asked me who is doing the booking. It's literally somebody in the office going, oh, I can't have that on. It's
the fuck. He's in the Trio Olympia. That's what it is. He's in the fucking Trio Olympia, and he's in the Little Theatre, and he's in the Aldi Spectrum, and all those kind of stuff.
The Spectrum.
I don't fucking know. He's in the Okie Dokie Park, taking over from Tato. That's where Tom will be next year.
That's what Little put up, Tom.
Fucking headline and a fucking shot on the Cuchulainn roller coaster. Fuck me. No, well, look, either way, Tom, it's great that comedy's back. It's great that you're going to be on the road again, and I'll definitely be heading along. I'm sure you'll probably be playing Lovely Leash at some point. Kavanagh's
would you believe it? I was talking with Kavanagh's last night, and I'd say the end of April I'll be in Kavanagh's. I would say early May, end of April, I will be in Kavanagh's on a Saturday night with.
Have there be more than one Dublin date, Tom?
Seeing how it goes, it's all testing. Again, there's only a handful of comedians out there who have the swinging power to absolutely guarantee. Nobody really knows. Like, 12 years of work just went down the drain one morning when fucking Radker just made that announcement. So it's our toe out in the ice going, I don't fucking know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Like the one in Belfast selling really well. The other one won't go on sale until next week, the Dublin one, and then there'll be a Cork one and a Portlaoise one and a Galway one for later in the year as well. But we don't. I don't. If it sold amazingly well off the back of this podcast, then I will definitely do a couple of dates in Dublin for sure. Like I'd love to, but again, it's probably been saturated with a lot of stuff, and there's probably a lot of like. If you consider if Joanne is doing 37 nights at what, we'll say, 1,000 people a night?
Yeah.
Would it be?
1,500.
1,500. I don't know what it holds, but it's hefty.
I mean, that's, you're talking about fucking 50,000 people who've seen their fill of comedy. Do you know what I mean? They go, I don't need to see more. Do you know that kind of way? So there will be an oversaturation to a point, like, where people are going, nah, I'm fucking grand. I don't need to see a mustached man in the fucking... But it's going to be fucking good crack for whoever does come. I fucking can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Look, 2 years of everyone being locked up, I think a comedy gig is a pretty decent way to fucking blow off some cobwebs. And
I Portlaoise, I always enjoy cabinets, and the last time I brought a show was that one man play I did for the
Defending the Caveman.
And it did really well in the theatre in Portlaoise.
Well, that's because they're all fucking cavemen down here, Tom. They're all
they were probably. There was a couple of Dirty Owl ones actually at that show, which is really weird. In all like the 22 dates, I never got any kind of a fucking. It's like it wasn't that kind of a play. It was it was just a light, funny play, and a couple of Dirty Owl ones in Portlaoise were like, "Fucking get them off!" What? I was like, "Fucking what?" This was unexpected, but of course I was loving it. It was like I probably added 20 minutes onto that play that wasn't needed. That I'm not as sure the American producer would have been overly fucking delighted with, but it was a good night in fucking Portlaoise, lads.
Tom, you're a gentleman.
Yeah, we'll park our here, Tom. If people want to check out Bookshot and Ramble Pods and all those kind of things, Tom, where can they get it, mate?
They're everywhere. Spotify is where it all is now. Sure, it's like everything was. It's quite easy to find. Just type in Bookshot or Tom O'Mahony and you'll find it. Or follow me on any of the usual platforms, Tom O'Mahony Comedy, and don't worry, I'm fairly fucking vocal, I can tell you.
Danny, where can anyone listen to us?
The exact same as what Tom just said. Anywhere and everywhere you get a podcast, lads, WTSpod, and we're there. Or check out WTSpod.com. And if you're looking for mustached content, then you go to Tom's social media. If you're looking for beard content, then you go to @AmericanMania. And if you're looking for fresh baby face, then you go to @DanJoeMurray. And look, we have all the angles covered.
Yeah.
So that's it, lads. Thank you very much. Tom O'Mahony, has been a pleasure, man. And hopefully it won't be as long as it was between... Well, this we were chatting to you a couple of weeks ago, but between that chat and the last time was nearly a year and a half, 2 years, I think it was. Start lockdown, wasn't it? It was fucking very long.
I'm going to just be outside your door, just recording, just you talking, just so I can put it on the podcast, even if you won't agree to be on it.
It was absolutely fine, to be honest with you. I'm fine with that. Merrigan will probably, if he gets wind of it, show you a nipple out the window.
I'll take it.
It's what he did there. Look, he's eager.
Nice. Nice.
Lads, emotional.
It's been a pleasure, lads. Right, Tom, until next time, my friend, take care. Mero, until next week.
Clear eyes.
Full hearts.
And lose.